This is Jimmy's podcast, season 10 on the podcast. We coming back for more. I bet you never thought we'd last, and neither did we. Breaking news, show reviews, rubber boots, reacts, and other social media crap. And if nothing else, you know you're gonna have a laugh. You're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah, 'cause this is the podcast.
So it's TradeCentre week.
Oh, yeah.
Here on the Sports Network, which
How many of them you've done now?
I believe this is my 20th.
Now, you're the only host of TradeCentre, right?
In the history of TradeCentre?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they would do trade deadline stuff before.
But
I think
never a show.
I think Jim Van Horn maybe for a couple of years would like sit with Bobby and do updates, but I think never a show.
And it was Bob's idea, wasn't it?
No, Bob's idea was the free agent frenzy.
Oh, okay.
TradeCentre was, though, I believe that the first show I did, I'm going to say 2003, and I believe it was some semblance of decency, like a 4 or 5 hour show.
Yeah.
And then what happened the next year, I think maybe we were going on at 10 or something, so they're starting to push it. But I may get the year wrong on this, but either in the second year or the third year, Todd Bertuzzi hit Steve Moore the night before TradeCentre.
I was working that night.
Huge.
Right.
Changed the fortunes of the show.
And that was the night Mark Milliere called me at 4 a.m. Said, hey, I need you now. I'm like, what, who, what?
The best is the Milliere impression that everyone knows.
Fantastic.
Even the listeners. And I was like, yeah, big stuff happened last night. Get in here. And me and Glenn Healy were the only two people in and did like an hour of TradeCentre by ourselves with one cameraman holding a bash light up. But after that, it was on.
Ugh.
I think
Milliere's to blame then.
or Todd Bertuzzi is to blame.
Bertuzzi.
Damn you, Bertuzzi.
We should have got into that lawsuit.
Yeah, so 20, but it is it's long. And what we were just before we went on, we were talking about what a long day was because Puffy got out of it last year. COVID, and he said no one has celebrated a COVID positive test more than Puffy.
It was an exciting day.
Did you do a little COVID dance?
I was doing a little COVID dance. But I was sick. But the thing was COVID at that time. Now I bet you they'd say like, oh, you're good. You can come in.
Absolutely.
But then it was still bad.
No, but it wasn't scary. It was in that you were in that sweet zone where you still had to stay home, but it wasn't really scary.
And I had to quarantine from everyone, but they had to bring me food and stuff. So it was glorious,
Awesome.
like 3 days.
I know.
Daniel's like, I think you're fine. I'm like, I don't know.
Might as well have been Father's Day, eh?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
We will forget when decades go by and we look back at this horrendous 3 years in the world, and obviously with all sorts of awful things and deaths and all that, the sweet spot will be forgotten. The sweet spot of COVID where you knew you were going to be okay, but you got to just isolate and have people wait on you.
Yes.
And just watch Netflix all day.
There were some of us who had it.
It was just like a few months in there.
Good COVID.
Yeah, that's right. But it's a long day, and what I try not to think about is when I have a day, like on Sunday, let's say, got up, take the dogs for a walk, go somewhere with Brooksy, watch golf for 3 hours, have a 2-hour nap, go to the gym, work out, come home, help with dinner. I made that part up. I never help with dinner.
Work out too.
Yeah, workout. I made that part up too. And then suddenly it's 6 o'clock and you go, all that stuff I did on trade deadline, I'll just be on TV the whole time. All those things I did for that 10 hours. That's what freaks me out.
It's the one day I do look at you and I'm like, he's good at the job.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say.
It's a lot. Like no one, a couple people have a long day. Mm-hmm. But like you guys who are like, you, Ellen, there's a few of you who
are going all the time.
Like the whole time. There's no off.
Yeah, I think it's also the intensiveness of it. Because it's like, an average work day is 8 hours anyway, so 2 extra for an average person probably wouldn't seem like that, but you're literally on all the time.
TV is tiring too, and this is going to sound like people will be rolling their eyes listening, and not like physically tiring, but I think when your brain is active like a lot, I get more tired than I would like physically if I was running a marathon or something like the day after, because I think your brain is just exhausted and it's not like I'm thinking of anything great to say. It's just that I'm trying not to say anything stupid.
Well, look, I was there.
Which I fail sometimes.
I was there. The one year we did live songs and everything, And even at the end, I was sitting there going, "Oh my God, how's this guy doing this?" Like, I mean, I don't think he even took a leak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for me to be there and being on all that time, you got to be sharp. And you're right, the mental exhaust is crazy.
Anyway, what I was trying to get to was this year too. We have a Flames game the night before, a Leafs Flames game.
Oh man,
Which for you is going to be bad. For me, it's probably better.
Why?
Just because at least we're like you're going to be there anyways. At least we're doing a game. It's sort of more
and just
routine,
sitting
and
around.
yeah, rather than sitting around.
But
and,
I'm
like,
thinking,
hoping
but
for a
it's
trade or
later.
something.
Like I'm not going to.
You'll be in bed later for sure.
Hotel.
9:30 start.
No post hit. I think that's what we got to say.
Oh, so yeah, I think I'm gone after the second intermission.
Oh, seriously?
I think that's happening. I put that request in a month
Okay.
ago. But when it gets really late and then you can't sleep, like you're lying in bed and go, okay, I got to wake up at 5. So now I got 4.5 hours if I fall asleep right now. But,
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to medicate. Is it a NyQuil type of night, or will that make me
Can
too
you
drowsy in the
trust
morning?
that you
I don't know.
I wouldn't trust that.
Half a dose,
Maybe a little nip.
just a little nip of NyQuil.
Shot.
Yeah. So, and of course, everyone. This is, I think, more than any other year, there have been more trades before. There always has been the last few years. Everyone thinks this is. It's for 5 or 6 years now. GMs have smartened up and they don't try to make deals. But this is probably the worst ever. So it has the potential to be, the worst trade deadline in the sense of quality of deals.
Now, is this the first one on a Friday?
I can remember.
I can't think of one. It
It's
seems like
always been
Mondays,
Mondays.
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
do you
agreed.
think like that contributes to it somehow? Because they're trying to just get them done before, and it's like
for the weekend.
They're not.
GMs
I
want to
don't know.
party.
Friday.
You know
No,
what I mean?
I think it just in general
I will.
over the last decade that the philosophy of GMs has been to get stuff done and not panic. I have a theory, which I've probably shared before, which may or not be true, but the Ryan Smyth trade from the Oilers to the Islanders. So that's probably 12 years ago or something like that. Now, maybe more.
Maybe longer than that.
I believe that was a bit of a moment because neither side really wanted it to happen. They were like a couple $100,000 apart on a contract thing, but it got close to 3 o'clock and both sides sort of panicked and he got traded. And I think that was a little bit of a tipping point of let's not let this go to the last second, which kind of sucked for us, but makes more sense if you're a general manager.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact Eric Carlson said yesterday, we're taping this on Tuesday, said, well, Mike Greer, the GM of the Sharks, hasn't come to me yet 3 days before the deadline, so I don't think I'm getting traded. So, that kind of stuff in the old days, I think they'd call him sometimes a day or two before, say, will you waive your no trade and make a deal?
Yep, that's true.
Anyway, it'll be fun if there's any trades left. The point I was really trying to get to is we have a world debut for you here today.
Today.
You, our faithful Rubber Boots listeners, before anyone else on the planet, and really only the ones that either are listening or watching on YouTube, say hi, Puffy. Puffy's not in the YouTube shot, but he has to lean over once in a while. And those who will listen the first night. When do you post? When do you post it at like 7 or 7:30 or Eastern?
James, everyone knows that the party
6 o'clock.
commences at 6 p.m. on Thursdays.
So you can, but the YouTube's at 6, but you can download the podcast also at 6?
Yeah, the audio version goes up around 5:30 usually.
Oh,
Okay.
so early.
The early
I
bird
actually didn't know
gets
that.
the pod.
Okay, so if you're listening to this, if you're one of our faithful fans who listens early, you will be among the first ears in the world.
Should we name them all?
Yes, to hear our world premiere song, Bad for Bedard. I posted a little promo today, so it's been 10 years since Puck Over Glass. I didn't know that until I
Yes,
looked it up.
yeah, that's crazy.
10 years
Wow.
since Lester and I did Puck Over Glass, and then maybe 6 years, I think, since Don't Take My Goal Away.
Don't Take My Goal Away was 2016.
So we like to spread out the music. Well,
Is there any other ones in there or no?
no, that's it.
Good, eh?
This will be our third song in 10 years. But that, it's not like we are, musicians churning out albums all
And
the
they're,
time.
you know what?
Some bands
They
take that long.
They have lasted.
Right.
The songs are all still holding up.
Right.
Yes,
So good job by
absolutely.
you guys.
Because I'm simple, catchy, and then Lester makes them magic,
Yeah.
right? But I can't really write a complicated song. What do you think I am? Anyway, so we were... the reason we probably haven't done songs for a while is I golf too much. That's probably number one.
Yeah.
But you only don't. You can't be doing a song every year, every 6 months. It's just
Agreed.
get old fast.
Yeah.
So and plus you need a motivation. Like Puck Over Glass just hit us that time, and Don't Take My Goal Away. Everybody was talking about video review.
Yeah.
And so you didn't want to do another penalty or another thing.
Yeah.
And then I think maybe at the World Juniors the seed was planted when Connor Bedard put on that show. And everybody started tanking, and there was a lot of executives at the World Juniors. I think I talked about this on the pod, and it was clear. It was clear there's tanking going on. Some teams are winning games they shouldn't be winning right now if they're last. But make no mistake, the 7, 8, whatever teams at the bottom, 9, 10 that are out of it, all want to be as close as they can to the top of the draft ladder.
You'd be stupid not to.
And so that was actually more backstory. When I was in Arizona, Mike Lane, who's our kind of new hockey boss, has kind of replaced the Evil Quizmaster, who's in semi-retirement. He's been bugging me for months to do something else.
To do a song?
To do a song, do something. We got to go.
Know that.
And I was in the shower in Arizona, slowly touching my glistening naked body.
He was there too?
I was about to say.
Mike Lane stepped into the shower and said, no. And it hit me that I started singing Lose Yourself by Eminem. And in like a half an hour, like I had rewritten Lose Yourself to be called Lose a Lot, a song about tanking in the NHL for Bedard. And I can't remember the words, but it was. I feel like it was the best work I did in my life.
You didn't write this stuff down?
In the shower.
I didn't write it down. I know that Mum Spaghetti turned into Cole Perfetti.
That's really good.
And it was just, you got to lose a lot, and just the beginning, you only get one shot, one opportunity.
Which is perfect.
And by the way, there's 8,000 words in Lose Yourself. If you ever did Google the lyrics, I probably only did like 2 verses. So it's not like I did the entire song.
Yeah.
But I was very proud of it. And then we contacted the TSN CTV Bell lawyers, and they told us in an instant that we can't do an Eminem song.
See, if this was 20 years ago, we would have not made that phone call.
No, we just
would have produced that video.
We just would have done it.
Eminem would now own the company.
But everything happens for a reason. Mm-hmm. I start to think, well, I got to do something else, and I'm really into country, as I've told you before. My daughter Gracie has really gotten me into country, so I listen to a lot of country now. And Puck Over Glass was kind of, what was Puck Over Glass? What would you call it? Just a ballady kind of, you got a gospel.
Gospel.
It was a
I found
gospel,
a
gospel
little
thing,
gospel in
with the
there.
part at the end for sure, yeah.
Don't Take My Goal Away was kind of a complete boy band poppy ballad.
Absolutely.
And so I figured we could do something country-esque. Now this is kind of country pop that it ended up being.
Yes.
But
Which is what I thought you were going for.
yeah, song popped into my head. I did my typical voicemail and sent it to Lester. I should play one of those voicemails. shouldn't I?
Listen, I've been telling people for years and years, if our relationship goes south, I have so much blackmail material on you. It's unbelievable.
This is really
Yeah, the
dangerous.
original lyrics are really offensive.
A lot of racist stuff.
This is
Included hard for Bedard, I believe.
Hard for Bedard.
this is really dangerous.
No. Go for it.
It says Highway 404, which means I was probably recording it on the highway.
Yeah,
That's safe.
That's where the blackmail comes in.
Yes.
I don't have the lyrics. Oh, wait a second. I can look up the lyrics while I'm doing this. Hold on a second. Sorry.
You better be pulled over.
I was pulled over to the side of the road at this point.
Zero chance.
And it gets a little more up-tempo for the chorus. And then the last version of the chorus, way more up-tempo, so maybe more instruments or whatever in it. You're the general manager of an NHL team, winning the Stanley Cup forever. I know you're not going to have to listen to all that. So that was like the first version, maybe, of that song.
That's amazing. I love it.
So I send those to Lester, and then he'll send me back, here's a tune, and I'll say, yeah, maybe a little faster, maybe a little slower, and then we'll go back and forth and talk more than we talk on the entire year in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Lester's a musical genius, and he'll put it together. And the difference on this one, and I got to give a lot of love to my guys, he said to me at some point, I want you to sing a little bit of this, which I was terrified.
Yeah.
But it's every guy's dream. I think he helped maybe with a little auto-tune, but I can't do the high parts and stuff. So Lester sings mostly on this, but you'll hear me on the first couple of verses and choruses in the background. So this is a song about tanking called Bad for Bedard. If you're listening, if you're one of the early listeners, then you'll be seeing the video. It's going to come out within a couple hours. And you're probably listening to this on Saturday or Sunday or Friday and have already seen the video. That's what I'm guessing. But if you were one who got the world premiere, here's Bad for Bedard. He's the general manager of an NHL team, winning the Stanley Cup, forever his dream. But before you come first here, man, you gotta be last. And he knows a kid who'll turn things around fast. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers wrapped in one devil. Players won't take, no, that just ain't their way. But GM's gonna let all their black aces play. So pick up your phone, call Kyle, call Ken. Trade all your free agents, start over again. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. You don't need no scouts or analytica. Just watch his goal against Slovakia.
I kept my top scorer out, can't play too sick. Traded my captain for 3 draft picks. Called up a goalie from the ECHL. Got Bob McKenzie on the carpet. I do what needs to be done to be the guy who drafts number 1. And if I don't win, man, don't be silly. I'll take Leo the Swede or Adam Bentilli.
Ping-pong balls are bouncing, 25.5% shot. The ping-pong ball is dropping. Let's see who you got.
Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers wrapped in one devil. Be crappy for Connor, Connor, Connor. No point in honor, honor, honor. Be bad for Bedard, be bad for Bedard. Absolutely no shame in losing hard.
Just missing the playoffs is no place to be. So I'm trying to come last, but don't tell Gary. There you go.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Well done.
keep in mind that it's really, we do this for the video
Yes.
more than any other thing. Like, I don't expect you all to be downloading this in Apple and singing in your cars all
Hold
the
on.
time.
Will it be
we will be.
available on Apple?
Well,
That's the plan.
try.
Yes.
Can you pull that off, Stoff?
Can I
Can you
pull
put it on off?
Yeah. If I give you some,
It'll be on Apple Podcast. I can
Yeah,
guarantee
yeah.
you that. But
Yeah.
I think, we'll do a little digging. We'll see what we do.
I can help. I can do that. But I'll tell you that "Don't Take My Goal Away" is on Apple.
Oh, it
Tunes.
is?
It is on iTunes.
So you could we have now that we have 3 songs, is that enough for an album?
We can do an EP.
yeah.
Yeah.
While before we continue here, and I want to thank you again for having me on the song. I'm very, very happy.
Oh, okay.
And I want to just acknowledge some of my colleagues that helped me out. First of all, my brother played drums, bass, and the keyboards on the song.
Wow.
Stacy Tabb sang
Wait a second,
background
we got to
vocals.
pay all these people?
No.
You can take care of
And
that,
then
right?
and your friend and mine.
The Boy Wonder?
Edited, mixed
Boy Wonder?
by Robin the Boy Wonder
Boy Wonder,
Eccleston.
all over
Lyrics
that.
and Beats Productions.
What about Tony Ferraro?
Tony Ferraro? He's out.
What about the vocals? James vocals, wasn't that Stoff who took those in?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I was the recording engineer.
That's
That's
right.
very true.
That's
That's
right.
very true. I gotta big up stuff
Good
for
levels
that too.
and everything.
Yeah, that was.
Too.
I can't tell you, though, how excited I am about the video.
The videos.
It's, first of all, while you're doing shout-outs, Matt Cade, our good buddy, who was going to be a semi-regular, I think, when we started this pod. He was on like a couple of times.
He
in
was
the
on
first couple
early.
of
Yeah.
seasons.
He was.
What
on
happened
early.
to that?
I mean, at the beginning, it was going to be a complete rotation of everyone, and
Yeah.
then you just took control of it.
We stopped.
I was going to have different colleagues on every week, and then you guys came on the first week and never left.
Pretty much how it happened.
Is that what happened? Is that true?
Yeah, kind
pretty
of.
much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I was definitely only going to have you on once, and you said what time next week, and I was too sheepish to tell you not to show up.
I think that our iTunes description still says James Duthie in a rotation of his friends from work or something.
Rotation.
Yeah.
Just he has no friends.
Rotation was a big
Every 2
word.
years. Yeah, you're basically it. You guys are. But so Devin Burns is the. I don't know what the word is. I was going to say cameraman, director of photography, because he's much more than a cameraman. The guy's a freaking artist.
Yes.
And Matt Cade producing.
Phenomenal.
Tyson, I can't remember his last name. Tyson did sound and did an amazing job. But it's just funny. Like the people on the video, if you're listening, if you've already seen it. So there's who's in the band? Dregs on keyboard, Pounder on drums, LeBron on bass, Chris Johnston on ukulele,
Yeah.
Bob McKenzie on cowbell,
How did you get Bob in?
Rod Smith on recorder,
Yes.
Jennifer Hedger, Lindsay Hamilton, and Tessa Bonham, background singers. Am I missing anybody?
You missed a good shoot yesterday.
Jeff O'Neill on rap and also plays the role of the general manager.
Yes.
So he dual role.
Yeah, so,
Yes.
the song basically tells the story of a GM trying to tank.
Yeah.
And O-Dog plays the GM in the video, and he's full O-Dog.
Is he?
Yes, and so that... I laughed more watching these guys do their takes than I've laughed in a long time.
That's awesome.
Particularly the rap, because the rap is very fast,
And
as
it's
you can hear.
hard to do the mouthing.
Yeah.
properly.
And so we had to sort of take it line by line. And it was just amazing.
Oh, did a
nailed
great
it.
job though on those, but yeah,
He did
that
a
was- that was
fantastic
fun.
job.
I'll tell you what. I was in that day sitting at my desk, and you guys were in the boardroom. So you have to understand my personal pleasure in listening to. I'll do what needs to be done. I could just hear him doing it. He was going for it, man. It was great.
He was yelling the lines
Oh, yeah.
out.
Yeah, it was so good.
Lester, of course, did the rap in the song too. So
Yeah.
anyway, then and it's funny because I put out a little trailer for the thing today, and you'll get. I think most people like it and they get what we are, but others don't understand, and they're like, "Boy, this is really cringe." And I'm like, "Don't you understand that cringe is what we're going for?"
The look.
That is exactly it.
Nailed it.
I'm not trying to be cool.
This is not. A
I'm
real
wearing my
song.
wife's fur coat. I'm a middle-aged man. I'm not attempting to be cool. Anyway, good
Very
times.
exciting.
I hope you all enjoy it.
Now there was a shot with the guy with the bongos. At one point, was that guy edited out or?
Oh, yes.
Oh my god!
I did forget. You
a
see,
djembe,
we
actually.
like to throw in Taylor Swift. I'm a big Swiftie.
Swiftie, yeah.
She likes to throw in a lot of what they call
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Oh.
I was going
Does
to call
she?
it. I was going to say Easter cream eggs. She into her videos,
Really?
which means like something little reference that only her diehard fans will understand. Something that be written on a wall behind that would refer to an old lyric or an old boyfriend or something
okay.
that all the Swifties would get, but you really have to look hard. And so my idea was to have Puffy and Stoff in one shot at the end of the video for the listeners to the podcast.
Exactly.
And much like he was late for the starting
I
of this
know, I
podcast,
know.
Oops.
as we're waiting, the entire crew waiting around to
I
shoot the
know,
shot, I'm like,
I
Puffy, are you almost here? No, still at home. Tanya's got to pick up the kids. I'm like, okay. So
I'm a father. I have responsibilities.
we put
fair.
we put Stoff playing the bongos in the corner
Yes.
of one shot. So I haven't gone. I have to go back to Cade to make sure that makes it. But
It's already on the
know
floor.
it's
It's
got
already on the
edited
editing room floor.
I know how it works. I knew I was going to get in there.
No,
so I
Stoff
was-
is getting in there. I'm walking into that edit suite and demanding it. And that is an Easter egg only for the Rubber Boots fans because
You know
two of
Matt
them.
Cade has final cut on all his work.
because I love the idea of somebody, if anybody takes the time to watch the video twice or whatever, just pause it and go, okay, I know all those people, but who's that guy in the corner?
Oh yeah.
Hilarious.
Secret insider.
I even told him to pull his hat down so you barely could identify him.
That's very
Now,
true.
do you think Cade will cut me from the video just because he's bitter that he wasn't part of the podcast as he
That
was
could
originally
be. That
built
could
to
be.
be?
Yeah, Cade is one of the
That might
nicest
happen.
guys on the planet, but I feel there has to be an evil side, and
sure.
maybe
There's
that
definitely
comes
evil
out
Would
only be
in
right.
editing. Yeah. Hopefully Stoff has appeared before in remember our Pepsi commercials. So it's not like Stoff hasn't appeared before.
Oh my God, I totally forgot we did.
You were in those too, right?
Yeah, dude, we actually, those went on TV.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
my God, how did you get away with that?
Well, that was
Wow.
not only that. Well, that was Kenny Wong's idea.
It was Kenny Wong.
Kenny Wong is the one who
son of a
produced.
Yeah, it is.
and so Kenny Wong was a listener to the pod and loved you guys, and that's why he put you on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you know what the craziest thing about that whole Pepsi thing was?
Yeah.
Those were like big time commercials with a big crew and all day shoots. They aired one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They aired
crazy.
at it's like we shot them specifically for the end of a Leafs pregame show in the 30 seconds between the end of the pregame show and the beginning of the game.
But like, those were big audiences.
I know, but they only aired them once.
What? Yeah.
Which was
Good for you.
I liked it because the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah, they play them ad nauseum, particularly on, and so
Yeah,
that
you
would
become a meme with
that would have been a
20
I
disaster.
totally forgot we had done that.
But sometimes I was kind of proud as a couple of them. Like they could have aired 2 or 3 times,
Yeah.
not just once, and then disappeared into the air.
Hey, listen, that one with the acapella was a lot of fun. It was great. I mean, I did the
remember
music
what
for
did
it
we do
again.
for that one?
The barbershop quartet.
Oh God, is that the 4 of us?
yeah,
Yes.
we were doing this.
And you had the tear
doing
off
a
suit,
dance?
remember? The tear off suit.
Yeah,
You had
that's
the
right.
dance. Oh, it's great.
It's all coming back to me because I was thinking of the one
When you knocked me over.
I knocked you over in the hallway.
Totally forgot that we had done that.
Yeah, what's that? Like 3-4 years ago only.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Pre-pandemic for sure.
Pre-pandemic for sure.
Anyway,
sure.
we're a little pressed for time today, so let's get to things that I saw on Twitter.
You want to do things I saw on Twitter, or do we want to debut
What?
movies that I read?
Oh, let's do
on
that
Wikipedia.
then. Hey, if we have a new segment,
Nice.
let's go for it.
Alrighty, boys. So this is a pre-contained 3-minute file here that I will play you. That will serve as me reading the Wikipedia.
Oh, amazing.
Okay.
So here we go.
Rubber Boots Pictures, in collaboration with Wikipedia, presents Snakes on a Plane. After witnessing a brutal murder ordered by gang boss Eddie Kim in Hawaii, Sean Jones is escorted by FBI agents Neville Flynn and John Sanders on a Boeing 747 to testify in a trial against Kim in Los Angeles. Kim arranges for a time-release crate of venomous snakes to be placed in the cargo hold in an attempt to bring down the plane before it reaches LAX. To ensure the snakes indiscriminately attack everybody without the need for provocation, he has one of his henchmen disguised as an airport ground employee spray the passengers with a special pheromone that makes the snakes highly aggressive. The crate opens midway through the flight and the snakes make their way through the cabin, with a viper attacking an electrical panel, thus shutting down the power. A couple having sex in the bathroom are amongst the first ones killed. The plane's captain, Sean McKean, investigates the power outage and fixes an electrical short, but is killed by the viper that caused it. Co-pilot Rick accidentally releases the oxygen mask throughout the plane, causing most of the snakes to drop into the cabin with them. Numerous passengers, including Agent Sanders, are killed when the snakes invade the cabin. The surviving passengers who have made their way to the front of the plane put up blockades of luggage in a desperate attempt to stop the snakes. Rick is attacked and the plane starts to dip downward, causing a fruit trolley to crash through the luggage blockade. The passengers flee to the upstairs first-class cabin before blocking the stairwell with an inflatable life raft. Agent Flynn contacts FBI Special Agent Hank Harris on the ground, who gets in touch with Dr. Stephen Price. Based on the pictures of the reptiles emailed to him via a passenger phone, Price believes a Los Angeles snake dealer known for illegally importing exotic and highly dangerous snakes to be responsible. The dealer reveals that Kim hired him to obtain the snakes and adds how the latter managed to smuggle them on board and make them aggressive. Harris gives orders to have Eddie Kim arrested and tried on multiple counts of murder and attempted murder, with the death penalty as an option. Harris contacts Flynn, telling him that the anti-venom will be ready for the passengers when they land. However, Flynn discovers that the cockpit is filled with snakes and Rick is dead. After a brief discussion, Troy, a bodyguard, agrees to land the plane based on the experience of playing a flight simulator. Flynn shoots out 2 windows with his pistol, causing the plane to depressurize. The snakes are blown out of the cockpit and the lower floor of the plane. Despite his lack of real-world experience, Troy makes an emergency landing and the plane makes it to the terminal. Puffy, you owe that guy some money. Anyway, the passengers exit the plane and the anti-venom is given to those who need it. Just as Flynn and Sean are about to disembark, a remaining snake jumps and bites Sean in the chest. He is traumatized but unharmed due to a ballistic vest he had worn throughout the ordeal. As a token of his gratitude, Sean later takes Flynn to Bali to teach him how to surf. No snakes were harmed in the reading of this Wikipedia entry.
Wow, that was a hell of a movie.
It was. I actually now want to see it.
But I saved you 103 minutes.
You did.
Right.
You did. I would not watch that movie. So,
But is this a fair depiction of movies on Wikipedia? Because if the listener is just reads the Wikipedia, he will not get all the fancy production values you put into
that happens in my head while I'm reading it. So
yeah, it's very good.
So
this was just a glimpse into the
inside your head.
Wow.
Now, the only
Well
thing
done.
I would add is when character names are introduced, you also say who the actor is playing them. Because I kept
Played by
wondering,
Samuel L. Jackson.
I kept on wondering who is
played
Samuel
by-
L. Jackson.
But that's not in the Wikipedia. So what is he supposed to do? He can only.
No,
it's
usually
listed
is.
underneath
Usually
under
is, yeah.
cast. It's
Yes,
not listed
yes.
as part
That's-
of the. I was just reading the plot.
It's going to make you some work.
Yeah.
I wish.
That's what Puffy wants.
I like. Is this going to be a semi-regular segment?
yeah, somewhat,
I love
right?
it.
Oh,
I mean,
I love
people
it
are
too.
sending in suggestions, so I imagine there's
Wow.
more to come.
Okay.
Here's one I wish I would have
Louis?
read on Wikipedia. So Brooksy and I, like Friday night or Saturday night, nothing to do. Hey, let's do a movie.
Yeah.
And it was pondering that M. Night Shyamalan,
Yeah.
the one you were
The
talking
Knock on
about,
the Cabin.
and was pondering The Whale,
Okay, yeah.
Brendan Fraser.
A lot of buzz.
yes.
What is the whale?
That's the one with Brendan Fraser plays the big guy who's...
Plays like a super overweight guy, like 600 or 700 pound guy.
Yeah.
I think he won like SAG awards and
Yeah,
stuff.
Didn't he actually gained weight for it, too, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
he-
it's
I
a
didn't-
fat suit.
Yeah, he gained a ton of weight, but
Also
also
had a
he can't
fat
make
suit.
a guy. He can't
Yeah,
go
he
to
could-
700 pounds.
No.
But then you know how if you're on on demand or whatever, it'll have the Rotten Tomatoes popcorn review and critics review. So we came across this movie called After Sun. I'll show you the. So it looks
okay,
interesting,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Looks interesting. It was like 98% critics,
Okay.
92% audience.
Oh, wow,
and I knew nothing about this film. So
Sometimes
Brooksy
those
and
are
I are
great.
like, boom, let's go. Right? Let's After Sun it up. Who knows what's going to happen? They're going to go to a resort. There's going to be murder, all sorts of things. When I say that nothing happened in this movie, I mean nothing happened
How's that
in this
possible,
movie.
though, if it had such good critical reviews?
So, because it's one of those artsy fartsy things the critics love with good performances. A dad, divorced dad. You want me to read a little bit of the Wikipedia?
Sure, why
I won't
not?
do it as well as Stoff.
Well,
Plot. 11-year-old Sophie takes a summer holiday to Turkey with her loving 30-year-old Scottish father, Caleb.
I'm out.
That is it. That is the movie.
That's the plot. Yeah.
That is the movie.
wow.
Now, as we go through, we learn he's divorced. We start to learn he has depression
Okay.
in little tiny snippets.
Yeah.
And once in a while, they will cut to some artsy shot of Sophie as an adult dancing at a club,
Okay.
but just
more
like
intrigued.
weirdly. And anyway, like there's a bit of coming of age, not really. Like she hangs out with some teenagers and plays pool, but nothing happens. She does have her first kiss with another boy her age that she played a video game with,
Okay.
an innocent little kiss. And then I think we are to assume that the father committed suicide at some point. We are to assume that.
But they don't show
Because then at the end, they show Sophie. She's in a relationship with a woman, and she looks like she's tormented somewhat. But like there's a couple of innocent scenes, but that's it. And we don't know anything. But the entire movie is the vacation. They go scuba diving, they go snorkeling, they play by the pool, they go eat dinner, they have some cute little father-daughter moments, and that's it.
So
Is
this
it
2 hours.
This sounds like the first 4 episodes of White Lotus. Am I wrong?
No, you are not wrong.
I have
because,
to- I
well,
have
you
to
are wrong
apologize.
enough.
But it does. But
you
White
still
Lotus
haven't watched it?
The White Lotus is the best show.
Yes!
It's so good.
Yes,
It's so good.
It took a while.
And it, like, I watched. I
don't know about the best, but
wow.
3 is amazing.
Did I tell you?
First season?
Yeah,
I tell
first
you?
season.
Oh, so you haven't even got
No,
to
I haven't
season
even got.
2?
No.
Buddy,
I'm not- I'm
season
working-
2 is
I just
all
started-
about
Season 2 is
sex.
way better.
It's so good. Season 1. The
Yeah.
characters are amazing. The dad is amazing.
Yeah.
Armand or whatever.
Armand?
Armand's the best.
He's the best. I loved him.
It's
Buddy,
such a good show.
Wait till you get to season 2 where there's Italian prostitutes
listen. Oh,
and,
man.
and
It's good.
it's
Although
off
there's
the
quite a bit of
charts.
sex, I think, in the first one too.
Not as much as the second season.
His thing was like each season's supposed to be themed.
Right.
Yeah.
So
First
is that
season's
already
about
what
privilege.
Third season's going to be.
First season's about white privilege, and the second season's about sex.
Money is what they said.
And sex
but-
and power. I think.
Yeah. But although I think those are fluid throughout both of them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because money's a huge part in the second season too.
You're not going to be in any of those locations without money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're a prostitute.
Yes.
So they have to have money.
So
to get
anyway,
there.
do not watch After Sun. I shouldn't say that. Like, I'm sure the director did an amazing job. The actors do a great job. It's a nice story, but
So you guys
two
just
hours.
watched it.
but don't
2
enjoy
hours, please. Read the Wikipedia.
Well,
And thank you, Puffy, for joining us finally on the White Lotus.
It's so good.
it's
it.
listen,
Yeah, so
man.
we'll review it in like 2 months once Puffy's
yeah.
done.
Once you're actually done,
No,
we can
I'll
actually,
be done in like
A week?
I don't know why I'm here right now. I should be watching White
You
Lotus.
really
Man,
should.
Did you watch
really
it with Tanya?
No, she's I just gave up on her on it.
Really?
It is
You know
a
what?
show that it starts.
Parts of me
Quite
are
slow.
happy that I'm not watching
You
it.
know what I mean? Well, listen. Make sure you're alone for the second season. I'll say
Really?
that. Oh yeah.
Oh, alone time?
Oh yeah.
What do you guys do while
Yeah.
you watch TV?
I'm just saying. If you know,
I was
what's up, man?
When Brooksy and I go through, like, what are we going to watch? We want to start a new show. She'll
Yeah.
say, hey, how about this one? I'm like, Brooksy, we did 2 seasons of that before you quit on it. Like, constantly. There's 25 shows that we've started and not stopped.
we're trying to figure. I think we're going back to SEAL Team because we couldn't figure out. She won't watch Jack Ryan with me.
Oh, why not?
I loved.
What about
Ryan's
Last
good.
of Us?
She's too scary for her.
scary, yeah.
For her. She wouldn't.
Not
Like
really scary.
not.
This last episode was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Like, all the way throughout because you knew what was coming.
The presence of the zombies is a constant little fear that keeps you on edge, right? It's okay. It's zombies. It's a zombie show. What do you want?
I haven't seen it.
It's not like a Walking Dead zombie show though. Like the zombies are
love your
not
zombies.
they're not omnipresent. I don't really like my zombies. I like reality shows, but this not reality shows, but shows that are based on reality.
Yeah.
But I like The Last of Us. It's really good. Okay, let's get to things I saw on Twitter.
Freaky pigs, strange chicks, world affairs, polar bears, fake news, nice shoes, big boobs, jack dudes. All of these things and more as I sat on the shitter. Things that I saw on Twitter.
Things that we saw on Twitter, and last week we discussed Paxton Lynch.
Yes.
As
Yes.
he was the first one to be benched in the NFL, USFL, XFL, and the CFL. And Jimmy said he would never, ever, ever switch lives with him. So I did want to bring this in for context. Paxton Lynch's career earnings in the NFL alone,
earnings. You mean?
to date, earnings, yes,
Yeah.
$8.8 million.
Whoa.
Okay, so
Smoke.
Still
Jimmy's
wouldn't-
ahead by 10.
Yeah, well, I mean, but not a big lead.
2 good years.
Right.
That was a joke,
So
listeners.
that doesn't change anything. So yeah, 8.8 though for a guy who
I would've
didn't
thought he
play
would've
that
made
much. Well, it's that first round pick, I guess, that gets you a good amount.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did so Carson Wentz got released today?
He did.
Yes, he did.
Is it true he's going to the CFL? Or is that
Every league's claiming that because the XFL, a lot of people are saying the XFL
or
could
am
be a
I
big
getting
name.
bamboozled on this one? Because I saw a tweet that said something about him going to
Probably just
Saskatchewan, but,
speculation
yeah.
now. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know how
He'd
many
be a good
NFL
CFL quarterback.
I don't
Would
think
he?
he's made to be an NFL backup.
Like a lot of
so-
the NFL guys don't.
No, but I think
He's had problems making certain throws, though, man.
Yeah.
you got to
And
run.
that's what got him
You got to be able to
finished.
run. Okay.
Have you guys watched any XFL, by the way?
I have.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I do-
Not a whole ton.
I
but-
do like some of the rules. What is it, like a 3-point convert from the 20 or
From
something
the,
like
from
that?
the 10, 2 points from the 2, and 1 point from the 1, I believe.
too gimmicky.
But this whole thing now, the NFL.
But when you're down by 9, Puffy.
Somebody,
somebody
I saw one team they were down like 16-3.
Yeah, and they
they
won.
never gave the ball back and they won.
Right.
Because they just kept on keeping the ball.
Well, here's the thing. Someone from the NFL apparently has suggested that they do this 4th and 15 thing.
someone
the
is
Eagles.
the Eagles.
Oh, that's in.
my
Yeah.
That's things
I
I saw on
wonder
Twitter.
why.
Is it not?
Yes.
Is that why you were getting to eventually?
That was
Now-
literally the next thing.
it's
I
a-
thought.
it's a great
Who
thing.
suggests that? Is
I forgot
that the
that I read the
GM?
notes.
Is that the GM or is that the owner that suggests that? When it's
I would
when it's
imagine rule changes would be more GMs.
GMs.
I think so, though I can't confirm that. But the 4th and 15 play, basically, the USFL, the XFL has used this, and I believe both leagues only allow it in the 4th quarter. So you can't just do it throughout the whole game and just have possession the entire game, which does make sense. You have to kick off on other spots, but it's similar. I like it just because with all the safety rules put into the onside kick now, it's really hard to pull off the onside kicks.
But fourth and 15 feels like it kind of should be. It should
4th
be
and 20?
4th and 20. Like it should be almost. It should be a really hard thing.
It just feels like
4th and 15
most
feels
coordinators will find
a way to do it.
There'll be some team in the league that will be able to pull this off every single game.
And to Puffy's point, it kind of takes away from the integrity of the game in the sense you could dominate a game and somebody could have score 16 points really quick.
Yeah.
Without having to.
Makes it exciting though.
Yeah, it is, and which is what we're supposed to be striving
But
for.
you do want some kind of.
Yeah, I would say 4th and 20 makes a little more is more equivalent to an onside kick, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yes. The one other thing I noticed that they do during the broadcast, they'll mic up the coordinators, so you hear the play call coming in. And as a as a hardcore football fan, I love it.
Okay.
But also, I'm kind of just like, isn't there like a competitive edge that you're giving to the defense that could also pick up the call somehow?
Yeah. How
Like
quick-
maybe not now,
How
but maybe
quickly
in the
does it come
playoffs.
in
Yeah.
before the play?
Like there's a good 10 seconds after it comes in. And this is what happens too. The announcer will be like, okay, they're saying Larry. That means it's going to be a run to the left. And literally they snap the ball, run to the left, and the whole defense shifts to the left too.
Wow.
So I'm like, do they know the call? Is it just become like, how well can you execute the play?
And does
So
that also
it's a
take away
little
from the mystery of the game?
of what's coming? Yeah.
There's been
Exactly.
there's something similar on CBS has introduced on their golf coverage, and I'm not sure if you've seen this. It's a graphic that comes up in the top corner of the screen. So say it's a par 3. As soon as you tee off, it has it's a picture of the green
Where it's gonna land.
and it shows you where it's going to land. Yeah. And I've heard numerous golf fans say you've just taken all the mystery out of waiting for the ball to bounce.
Yeah.
I kind of like it myself because it gives you an idea where it's going to bounce, but doesn't know which way it's going to turn. I find myself going, oh, I got to watch this one. It's going to be close, right? Especially at Waste Management on 16. That's
Yeah.
where they debuted it, I think. But I get the complaints. Like, are we going to take all the mystery out of what we're watching?
Yeah, I guess in golf you don't see the actual shot all the way, so that kind of makes sense. But I also understand people think the mystery's gone. Like this for me, I like it as a little nuance, but I don't think I want that in every play and every single
And
game.
were they doing it every play?
More or less, like you hear them announcing a lot, and the announcer from the play-by-play from time to time would be like, "Well, this
to
probably
me,
means this."
It
Like,
should be sort of like, sometimes in poker coverage, they'll have like a hand where they'll have one hand where you can't see the cards or
Mm-hmm.
something, like to mix it up and you're playing with the player. I think they should do it that way. Maybe you throw it out once in a while, but for the most part,
I just once you get a
don't
game
use
when something big's on the line, why would the defense
Yeah.
not try to tune into the
it.
TV?
Last second play and everyone knows what play's coming, it's probably not going to work.
What else you got?
Well, we got Jake Paul lost this weekend to Tommy Fury ahead of
was
his fight with
surprised.
Puffy. Drake bet $400K.
I saw
on
that.
Wow.
to win 1.4 million, except he lost because Paul did not win by TK.
No, I want
But he
to.
did knock him down.
He got one solid shot in through the full fight.
I want to do a
yes.
mea culpa because I'm not sure I ever said this on the pod, but I'm guessing when this whole thing started with Jake Paul, I thought it was all fake. And I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
the fights were all rigged, and I probably said that on the pod because I really thought that.
I did not.
He's a legitimate athlete, it seems like, right?
He is, although in that sport, he's nowhere near a level yet where he should be getting the type of
Right.
No.
recognition and attention he is.
that's
However, a
sport.
lot of people inside of boxing are very pleased with what he's doing because he's not letting promoters rip him off. Right? So
And he's
real
brought
fighters
he's-
want to be able to do what he does, where he can make the money, set up the fight, and that kind of stuff.
And let's
So-
face it, boxing was pretty dead.
100%.
Dead.
And so the
100%.
fact that he's brought it back.
And that's what it's all about is
Sure.
bringing attention to yourself and having people want to watch you fight
Yeah.
someone. And he's
Before
he's
this, it
good
was
as a
Conor
middleweight.
McGregor versus Mayweather that
Right.
had the biggest. That was the biggest fight, right?
Right.
And also with a guy like him, I guess the one thing that works into promoting a fight is, you know his backstory just from his YouTube and everything alone. Like there isn't as much like you might have a great fighter who doesn't have a marketable story or something. So people are already tuned into what he's doing.
But he's
Wanna
got
get eyeballs.
to keep it up now that he's lost. He's got to have to improve, right?
Right.
He's going to have to get.
Well, he's going to have
better.
to beat Tommy Fury at least.
Yes.
'Cause I think they have a rematch clause.
Oh, okay.
That's going to happen.
I didn't watch, and I'm still not interested enough to watch any of this stuff. But
I was definitely keeping track of it though. Like I was interested to see how, and I did think he was going to win.
Now, did you lay a little
No, I did not. And I thankfully didn't because I would have bet on him to win.
Well, I think
just
most
he
people
was
seem
gonna
to think he was going to win.
He was the favorite, yeah.
Right.
Maybe Drake's not going to be able to retire.
Fury's
now because he
brother
lost
did
the-
put put $100K on him to win.
Who did?
Tyson Fury. Bet
Put
on
his brother?
bet
Bet on his
100K.
brother? Okay.
So that's
If
a
he
nice
bet, if he bet on Paul, that might have
fix
been
would
the fix would have been in. I came across this ad on Twitter that I sent to you guys for a mini micro camera snake, basically. That the tweet said something like, "You can even look inside your own ears." But for I don't
That's
know why
not
my
where
mind.
people would be looking.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, would this put a stop to the colonoscopy industry?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, if you could just do it at home.
Well, if you could teach yourself to do it, would you?
Me personally, no.
No.
I wouldn't. But then a couple people would do it a couple times a week, you think? sorry.
Are these things affordable? Did it put a price?
No, I didn't click the link. I was afraid.
Oh, right.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're marketing it to the masses. It must be somewhat affordable.
I would definitely use it for my ears.
Really?
Earwax is a big thing, yeah.
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 Okay.
Sometimes
Just
you just don't
But
want to
the-
know.
the-
You wouldn't
in
be
the
worried about getting
advertisement,
it stuck in there. or
the
something?
advertisement, they're talking more about plumbing and stuff, right? Seeing what's clogged up the sink.
Just anything, yeah. I actually had a plumber come by. It wasn't one of these, but they shoved that through the pipe that goes out of our house and stuff and showed me. So I guess that is one of the more practical uses.
Oh, yeah. What was in the pipe?
Just grease and shit, I guess.
Yeah.
Stuff adds up. Man. So,
Yeah. That stuff adds up.
so that we're gonna order 4 of those.
I find it. I think I would buy one, but I don't think I'd put it on into any of my cavities or any people I know's cavities. Okay. I would use it for just stuff around the house. Drop something down because I lose a lot of stuff, as you guys might know.
That'd be crazy. You just put the camera and go to work, find everything you lost.
Okay, buddy.
Alrighty.
Thanks. So this is now tuned into. Who's the reporter on the local news in Toronto? Pat Foran's Consumer Reports. Yes, with Christoph Mamona.
Pat's a very nice guy.
I
by
actually,
the way.
I saw something about Consumer Reports. Like, you know how you have influencer? Apparently, the new thing is people becoming de-influencers and telling you what products not to buy. So that's like a big
interesting.
thing.
Well, we could do that.
I absolutely. Who can't bitch?
I've
about
already
stuff,
said
right?
don't rent After Sun.
Yeah,
Yep.
Wow.
that's a big one.
Let's see what else could I contribute. I'm
Any vehicle not
mad at a lot of
Ford.
people.
Yeah, that's very
I
true.
got a new Ford.
Do you really?
Well, I saw it on my way in.
Yeah, I got a new commercial coming out.
What color's the new Ford?
I'm going to play this one to you. I might as well play this one for you guys too.
Oh, sure. Why not?
Since it's another really hokey thing I did. I have to do 4 Ford commercials as per my contract.
Wow.
And I frankly was long since out of ideas and long since out of time. But the fine people at Ford and McAlpine Ford, just minutes north of the 407. Pete, by the way, Pete wants me to do more Instagramming Ford stuff. So maybe I'll be doing all sorts of Ford commercials. What am I thinking? Maybe all my Instagram is going to be Ford commercials. This is my new one. Pete is in this one.
Is he? Oh, okay.
Nice.
I don't know if you'll be able to understand it just from the audio, but we'll try.
The trade talk is really intense right now.
This is me driving.
The truth about trades is they're tough. Often you have to give up something great, something you love. And that can be hard for all involved.
Here comes Pete.
All right, here you go, Pete.
I throw in my keys.
Enjoy your new aviator, James.
Pete goes back. Boom.
And some trades are awesome.
There you go.
Oh, look at
That's
that.
pretty good.
Now
Timely.
that's an unproduced thing. There's going to be music, like sad
Yeah.
music at the beginning, then happy music. Because hey, I wasn't talking about hockey trades. I was talking about trading in my car.
So is this coming out today?
I think it's got better. Ford better approve this sucker because I got to get it out in the next 2 days.
I don't know. You might want to save some trades for a trade deadline day.
Wow. And at the end, they're going to put, every dog has its day. And today.
Huskies. By the way, not to be a Ford shill on the podcast. They're not sponsoring us here yet, but
Yet.
I love this new car. It's got. Do any of your cars have this thing? I know it's existed before, but this is the first time I've seen it, where all the relevant stuff on your dashboard you can see in the window.
Oh, yeah.
Looking out your front
Mine has
window.
that, yeah.
So I know what speed I'm going. Like it's right in
James,
my
I think you're being a
eye
little
line.
bit insensitive to Stoff. He could barely get his car here.
But my 4 rims don't even look alike. But I do know what you're talking. My dad's new car actually does have that,
Nice.
where it's almost like a laser thing that
It's
projects
amazing.
onto, and the person in the passenger side can't
Doesn't
see
see
any
it.
of it.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
and
they
we have to
can.
drive up. We're driving up to Kingston
One
this
day.
weekend after Trade Center to see my mom's turned 90 today. Happy
90!
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Sheila.
That's
Happy birthday.
amazing.
So it's a huge family get together for my mom's 90th, and I'll be
Incredible.
driving the new Navigator, and there'll be my family in the back with comfy third row, and Hugo will probably be
How
back
many
there.
of the in-law kids coming?
What do you mean, like the girlfriend boyfriend
Yeah.
thing?
Oh yeah. You have room in your car?
Only
In that new car, probably.
no, none. We're just sticking to family this
Just
time.
core family.
Yeah,
thing.
you got to get
Oh.
if you like it, you better put a ring on it.
So,
That's fair.
so it's not going to be like the Kolyakovo bash from Friday night.
Oh, we should talk about that. Carlo Kolyakovo turned 40 on Friday night. I, by the way, was exhausted. We had a long day, and then we had a Leafs game, but I wanted to come see my friend. I don't know if you've ever thrown yourself a party. Now, he has a twin brother, Paolo.
Paulo.
I did not know that, by the way. I
Okay.
only found that on social media.
They rented this big hall in the Wood the Bridge.
Yeah,
course.
that's what you do in
Or
Woodbridge.
Von, I guess.
Oh, that's what.
Von,
Woodbridge.
whatever, Italian. And
At the terrace, which Woodbridge
this
people
was
will
a
recognize.
Puffy. This was a show. Like
Was
there was
it?
like hundreds of people.
Really?
Open bar, massive balloons, live band.
Wow.
Hypnotist.
Hypnotist.
Food, unbelievable.
Food like all over the place. The guys, when I walked out, they were giving out those cheesecakey peanut. You could make your
s'mores
own
and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was
make your own
ridiculous.
s'mores station.
Was it grappa?
And it was a who's who of Italians and people on TV.
It was like, if you've ever been to an Italian wedding, that's basically what it was.
What?
It was
Seriously?
Italian.
But like a pretty upscale one.
Yeah.
Really?
Nice antipasto table, the whole bit, eh?
For my 40th birthday, me and Brooksy went to got a takeout pizza or something like that.
Oh, no, Tanya did a surprise party for my 40th.
Oh no, I did have a surprise party when I lived in Angus Glen. That's right. And
Those Angus Glen parties.
yeah. And, well, I know, and they did.
I'm going to have to edit some of this out.
So for each one of us, they put it. Think of the equivalent of
Hold on, just where did the keys go? That's all I need to know.
How big was the bowl?
all of the hot moms in Angus Glen dressed up as cheerleaders.
Oh, for your birthday?
and did a dance.
Oh, my
Wow.
And all of the men dressed
Also
up
dressed as
as like yoga gurus and did like a yoga thing for Cheryl.
Oh, my
So
God.
that's how it
that's
went.
very nice.
Yes. And then we all had sex with different partners.
That's gonna
I'm kidding. That never happened.
Only a couple times.
Only a couple times.
No, if there was a key party in Angus Glen, I was never invited to it. I believe there probably was a couple, but I never attended.
You only hosted.
Should we wrap this sucker up? We've been going for a while. Let's just probably
should,
get back to
Do you want
work.
to get to a little listener? mail?
Yes, of course.
Listener mail. Listener mail. Thank you for listening.
This first one comes in for Paul Trunchin, and he's
Is
basically
he
writing-
Is he a new listener?
Yeah, sounds
Or
like
a
a
new
He's a
email?
Never heard that name before.
New
he's-
emailer?
Yeah,
First time?
long time
Long-time listener?
type of
Okay.
person. Yeah. And
Welcome, Paul.
He
Thanks for your
basically
faithful
tells us
support.
that our sexy time music
Yes.
has been evolving, and it's now evolved into an Instagram meme.
Oh, nice.
So he sent in this post. Obviously, you're just going to hear the music, but it's of a guy working out, like he's setting up his weights, and then halfway through, he realizes it's too much weight, and he's struggling with it, and the music changes. Let's take a listen.
Love it.
That is George Michael's Careless Whisper. Of
is.
course, one of my all-time
Great
favorite
tune.
songs.
Mixed in with our classy sexy time music.
Okay, very good.
You got some suggestions for a deadline day should that occur. Andrew Barron.
Please keep them coming.
Andrew Barron says maybe a live pod on Friday to help fill an hour or two.
Just do the pod during the show.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah.
you guys in.
You probably have a little
Because I
bit
think
of
we're
time.
going to do that to an
Put
extent
one of our
with
tables in the
Overdrive.
basement or something.
Yeah.
Overdrive is our big backup Friday. So, like, if it's really dead, it's just like throw it over to O and Hayes and Noodles and let them fill 20 minutes.
Oh,
that's
that's
what
gold.
they do. That's what we should do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
100%.
idea.
If you're going to go to anything, why not?
Yeah.
Roscoe writes in, how about a wiki review of Unusual Suspects? Well, that was probably meant for a different part of this, but that's fine. I will do that. Maybe not on trade deadline day. Matthew Bauer, look forward to the special project on trade deadline day with the podcast.
Okay.
Nice.
guess he
Oh,
thinks
because we
it's already
talked about it
happening.
last week. We talked about it for the first 20 minutes
Yes,
of the
that's
pod.
true.
Correct. Jacob Landry, an all-day show of the Rubber Boots podcast. Jeff Krause writes in, record an episode of Rubber Boots where you ask each panel member if they've watched the White Lotus yet. We could do like a solid hour going through all the
You
panels.
could do that tomorrow. Or Friday, rather. Or
Like
tomorrow.
that, like that.
I might actually do that. Remind me to do that, Puff.
when it comes to other podcasts, we have a suggestion here from Mark Peters. You guys might like this episode, and it's the People I Mostly Admire podcast, episode 99, and it features one golf legend, Greg Norman.
Oh.
Oh, of course. That's
I think
clever. You guys should both listen to that.
I will on repeat, probably.
One of the all-time greats.
What a weekend for LIV. Boy, I was riveted
I actually
to watch
caught 5 minutes of it.
Charles Howell III battle down the stretch with Cam Smith and DJ like 14 strokes off the pace.
I did try to watch, because I was watching a lot of the PJ.
Yeah.
And then I went over to watch some LIV, and I don't get the CW. And then I couldn't find it on YouTube. So is it still on YouTube? Or is it only on
Live,
CW?
I imagine, yeah.
It's on Game TV as well. I saw it on Game TV this weekend.
Yeah?
Live, yeah.
CHCH too, I think.
I'll make one last thing
yeah?
about LIV. I did try to. I watched a little bit this weekend.
Oh, someone's a
look
fan.
who's coming
Look out.
around.
And my thought is just admit what you are. There's some great. You have great golfers.
Yes.
And you try to create this party atmosphere where everyone's boozing up at all
no
the
one's
holes.
really partying.
Nobody, I know, but just don't try to pretend something you're not. Like the announcers, I think, because they're getting paid such big bucks by the Saudis, they're trying so hard to say this tournament's so huge. This is going to change someone's life, and you know all the players don't care because they already got paid.
Whoa! You're telling me that Howell
the player-
didn't change his life?
Well, Charles Howell made if you look at the all-time money list on the PGA Tour,
Yeah.
Charles Howell's like 8th. It's
No chance.
I'm not kidding.
There's no chance.
He has been a money machine for 20 years on the tour. Maybe not 8th, but like top 20. It's ridiculous. And so, okay, he made $4 million or whatever this weekend.
Plus team earnings.
But I'm just saying, like, the DJs of the world don't give a crap.
No, but that's
Well,
the
it's
thing.
BS.
DJ just doesn't care.
But the commentators are trying. They're like, DJ,
I know.
when you guys won the team competition last year, how did you celebrate? And DJ's like, oh, I went home, bro.
exactly. He doesn't care.
Well, so he's
They
being
don't
honest.
care. DJ.
He's being honest, but I mean, if you're going to call out the BS, you got to call it all around. It's like the PGA players who first said that LIV was horrible because it's owned by the Saudis and human rights issues, blah, blah, blah. And then months later, he said they'll be okay with it as long as they kick Greg off the tour.
Right.
Right?
Crazy.
Like, so what happened to all the Saudi
Oh, well, look
stuff,
at
right?
Paul
Like,
Casey. Paul Casey, Brooks Koepka said they would never ever go.
And
It
then
would
they
be-
went as soon as they
Paul
could,
Casey
yeah.
said it would be hypocritical because he supports a children's charity. So, 100%.
Wow.
But you're just calling out your own LIV players.
Money talks, baby.
No,
I'm calling out the PGA guys who are saying that
Right.
they'd be okay if Greg wasn't involved after
Yeah.
taking different
Right.
stances.
Come on.
And Koepka will never be my guy, I think.
Just if you can accept what it is, that it is like, some really good golf players playing in something that's different. The team thing's got possibilities, but they still haven't quite figured it out. But just admit that nobody cares. Don't try and David Feherty can't just be sitting there
but
saying,
James, what
"This
league
a
is going to
great golf
come out
tournament."
and say, hey, welcome to the thing.
I know,
Nobody's watching.
I know.
Yeah, and
even the
also-
PGA Tour doesn't
Like
sit
the
there at the Honda
XFL pretends
Classic.
they're a bigger deal than they are.
No,
Sure.
I know.
And the PGA Tour, no one cared about the playoffs. Still, do people really care that much about the playoffs?
Yeah,
And they've been going around for how many years?
Just in general, I don't
time.
think there's ever been a time that this early in the golf season, people were talking about golf this much.
Well, here's the thing about PGA, which I wasn't sure about this. Like events like the Honda.
Yeah.
Like it's a totally secondary field, but I don't mind it. You get two guys out there trying to change their life, and that happen to get a really
I'm
good
watching
finish.
way more PGA Tour like non-major events than ever because of exactly you kind of know, this is a big one. This week was
Yeah, it's not a
good
big one,
course,
so I don't
but
have to
it's
pay
still-
much attention, but
it's
maybe I can
still-
check
it was
out
good.
the last couple of holes.
Watch these guys. It was good stories.
Yeah. All right, enough golf. I don't want to.
Save the sport.
All right,
Yeah.
forget it.
Snack bites people.
Were you going to say
I was
something?
going to ask you.
Your expert opinion. Don't go, please.
No, I was going to say, Brooks Koepka comes back and says, I want to come back to the PGA. You're the commissioner or whatever. You take him back?
I don't know. I think eventually, because that would be a shot at LIV if you let him come back, but I don't know how that would work with the money, and I don't know. I would like to see all the best golfers back, so eventually I think I'd have to find a way to let him come back, but I don't know how you deal with that.
Just as a side question about golf, but not this. Have Brooks or DeChambeau won a single event since they had that feud?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
yeah.
so either. Eh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Really quickly, you just mentioned this. Could you put in a clip from last week's podcast where in our continuing efforts to unintentionally ignore Lester, Lester was ready. We were commenting about LIV, and Bob Weeks was here, and Lester was about to make a point, and I didn't hear him, and I just stepped over him and said, let's get Bob Weeks, the expert, to say, and then you hear Lester go, oh, just play that right here.
Hey, listen.
It's your
Let's
undying love for the
let the
PGA.
golf
Let the golf
expert,
expert,
the Hall of Famer, Week C weigh
Oh.
in.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Lester. I just wanted
That's
to.
okay. Called for.
I listened to the podcast and
But listen,
it was
you
the
have to
sweetest
understand,
thing I ever heard.
You understand? I was just joking because I
know.
knew.
I know. But it made me laugh. Anything else before we go?
Snack Bites Pete writes in, I have found what is considered to both be a snack and a snake and a snack bite, two worlds colliding, and it is a picture of Haribo twin snake gummies. So like the gummy bears, but they're snakes, I guess. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
a snack and a snake.
That can be a symbol now. You should put that on his avatar.
Absolutely. As I said before, Roscoe wants me to review the unusual suspects or the usual suspects.
So you're just going to repeat things now?
Yeah, I'm going to repeat things. Brian Hayden was in the chat saying he's happy that the episodes are coming fast and furious. I asked if he was in the shower, as he's often listening from me. He said no, but to which Andrew Barron said he's listening in the shower. It's my turn. So
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
Okay.
it's becoming a thing. Shout out to Andrew and all the other Drews in Drew Gang or hashtag Drew Crew.
Drew
That's
Crew.
from our.
They all listen to us? The
They
Drew
come
Crew?
out to the premieres
Oh,
on Thursday
the Drew
night,
Crew.
so the Drew Crew.
Awesome.
Shout out.
We're here. Is everybody here next Tuesday?
Yeah.
I am.
Okay, so we'll do another one next Tuesday. Then I'm away for a week,
Yes.
so we'll take a little.
And we'll wrap it up on this. Greg Lockhart also was at the premiere. He said, it's been a long time since I've checked in and said hi to all.
Oh.
If a Gold Bar League even still exists, I might be able to join again. So we'll put that tally in the
Again, we're working on
GPL.
it. A lot of efforts going on behind the scenes.
Yes. Grinding. Deals are being arranged.
Pray for us all, not just myself, but Puffy, and pray for Lester to get a hit song.
This be
Hit
big.
song.
His big writing credits.
It's a banger, baby. It's a banger, everybody.
And I don't know why we'd pray for you, Stoff, but
I have to put
Wow.
this whole thing together.
oh, that's right.
right.
I need
And
more
if we
prayers than
survive,
anyone.
if we survive, we'll see you next week on the Rubber Boots Podcast.
He's the general manager of an NHL team, winning the Stanley Cup, forever his dream. But before you come first here, man, you gotta be last. And he knows a kid who'll turn things around fast. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers wrapped in one devil. Players won't take, no, that just ain't their way. But GMs could let all their black aces play. So pick up your phone, call Kyle, call Ken. Trade all your free agents, start over again. Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. You don't need no scouts or analytica. Just watch his goal against Slovakia.
I kept my top score out, can't play too sick. Traded my captain for 3 draft picks. Called up a goalie from the ECHL. Got Bob McKenzie on the cowbell. I do what needs to be done to be the guy who drafts number 1. And if I don't win, man, don't be silly. I'll take Leo the Swede or Adam Bantilli.
Ping-pong balls are bouncing. 25.5% shot. The ping-pong ball is dropping. Let's see who you got.
Be crappy for Connor, be bad for Bedard. Losing is easy, but winning is hard. I've seen some good ones, man, but this kid's next level. Like all of the Hughes brothers, wrapped in one devil. Be crappy for Connor, Connor, Connor. No point in honor, honor, honor. Be bad for Bedard, be bad for Bedard. Absolutely no shame in losing hard.
Just missing the playoffs is no place to be. So I'm trying to come last, but don't tell Gary.
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?